So I'm representing the client, and believe it or not, Section 8 is buying him this house. And I'm gonna tell y'all exactly how it works, all right? So when it comes to being a voucher holder and wanting to purchase a house, there are a couple of programs that HUD does have. They have the self-sufficiency program and they have the home ownership program. Now this particular voucher holder that I'm representing, he's purchasing through the home ownership program. And it's crazy because a lot of people don't know about this. And the home ownership program pretty much lets voucher holders use their voucher to buy a home. And the housing authority will pay a portion of that voucher holder's monthly expenses towards home ownership. So it's pretty much like using their voucher to pay rent, but instead they're gonna be paying mortgage. And the housing authority will still provide them monthly payment assistance. This particular client is going to be getting about 80% of his mortgage paid from the housing authority. So if you're a voucher holder, why in the world rent when you can buy a home and still get the same assistance that they're giving you to rent? Now, not all local housing authorities offer the home ownership program for voucher holders, but if yours doesn't, HUD does encourage you to call them and encourage them to participate in the program. I'm really not sure if that's going to work, but that's what's on the HUD website. You can try. Now, there are some minimum requirements that every single local housing authority that is participating in the home ownership program has to follow. Now, for one, obviously, to participate in this program, you have to have a voucher. That's one, and that's obvious. Requirement number two, you must have good rental history. You have to have paid your rent on time for a year straight, and you must be current with your rent payments. Now, hopefully, this won't keep voucher holders back because you're only paying a portion of your rent anyway. So hopefully you're making your rent payments on time and you're current with your rent payments. Now, three, you have to be a first-time home buyer. If you ever bought a house before, you're not going to qualify for the home ownership program. Now, the fourth requirement is you or someone in your family, or someone on the voucher, must be employed, and you have to have had employment for the past year. This is important because if you haven't been working, but someone that's on the voucher has been working for a year, you can still qualify. Now, this requirement is waived if you are elderly or disabled. So if you're a senior, disabled, or have been employed for the past year, or someone on the voucher has been employed for the past year, you can qualify for the home ownership program. Oh yeah, and the employment requirement means that you've been working at least 30 hours a week for the past year. So that doesn't mean you can just get a part-time job and say, I've been employed for a year. And it's a 30-hour average. So say if you work 40 hours one week and 20 hours the next, and you average 30, you can still qualify. But the average must be at least 30 hours a week. Number five, there is a minimum income requirement. You must make at least $14,500 a year. Now, understand that local housing authorities might have their own income requirements, and you might need to make a little bit more than that. And number six, you cannot have had any lease violations for the past 3 years. So if you have, you will not qualify. And you're gonna have to go 3 years without a lease violation until you can qualify. Now, if you haven't, and you can meet all the other basic requirements, then you can qualify to purchase a home through the home ownership program with your local housing authority. But keep in mind, those are the minimum requirements. Local housing authorities might have some of their own requirements as well. Now, the process of buying a home through the home ownership program is pretty similar to a traditional sale, but there are some changes. There are some things that's different. For instance, the housing authority kind of calls the shots when it comes to the contract. They tell you how much the earnest money deposit is going to be. They tell you how long the inspection contingencies will be. They tell you how long it's going to take to close. It got to be 60 days on the contract. Usually it's 30 days, maybe even 45, but they say it has to be 60 days after ratification date. Another thing, you can't offer more than what the price of the home is listed for. Now this is all Baltimore City stuff. Other local housing authorities might have different rules and regulations, but yeah, you can't offer more than what the house is listed for. You kind of lose a little leverage when it comes to trying to get a property. Baltimore City has a ton of properties. There's a ton of properties that investors have bought, they're trying to get rid of, and they're pretty much completely renovated. They're almost like just new builds. And it's a lot of grant money in Baltimore City right now. You can get like 50,000 or more in grant money. So yeah, it's a ton of grant money for home ownership. They're really pushing that. But yeah, you do lose some of your leverage when it comes to negotiating. But as an agent, you just gotta try to figure it out. You got to direct your client with the best route they should take. But at the end of the day, it is definitely worth it if you are a voucher holder. I mean, why keep paying rent if you can own a home and the housing authority is still going to be helping you with those payments? Oh yeah, something else. So the client, the voucher holder who's purchasing, he's only required to put 1% down on this property. 1%. And here's the good thing. Part of the contingencies that he had to offer, he had to do a home inspection, which is, pretty standard. He also had to get a termite inspection, and he also had to get a lead inspection. Then the housing authority, they're going to do their own inspection as well. So it's 4 inspections. So my client, he has to pay for 3 of them. But here's the thing. Those 3 inspections he pays for goes towards the 1% that he has to pay for the property. So let's say he spends $600, $700, $800 for all those inspections. As long as he keep those receipts, he can use that to go towards the 1%. So that's awesome for him. Now, dealing with the housing authority, and this is probably with any housing authority throughout the country, it's not the easiest. Some are easier to deal with than others. With Baltimore City, I mean, it's not the easiest. A lot of times they want paperwork hand delivered in person. They want you to either mail it or bring it up there. That can be kind of irritating because my client, he's living in another state, and he would either mail it or I would print it out and then run it up there. But we kind of got off to like a little bit of a slow start, but now the ball is rolling. We got a ratified contract. We're getting the inspections. Actually, the inspection is today. I'm waiting for the inspector. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's a great deal for voucher holders who want to own a home. Just go through the process of getting it, whether the housing authority is irritating or not, just go through that process. Eventually, hopefully you will find something and get something ratified and close. But it is definitely worth it though. So any voucher holders out there who are interested in home ownership, whether you're looking in DC, Maryland, or Virginia, reach out to me. You'll have an agent that's used to dealing with this, and we can turn you into a home owner if you are a voucher holder. But thank y'all for watching as always. Look forward to seeing you guys in the next video.